Atmosphere in the state is charged with expectations, promises, and critical decisions that would shape the future of over 6 million residents. Tonight, we bring the conversation closer to the people as we continue our special series on the Anambra governorship election. Our focus is on the candidates, their vision, their plans, and what they truly offer in the Anambra. Joining me now is the governorship candidate of the Young Progressives Party, that's the YPP, Paul Chukwuma. He joins me virtually. Good evening, Mr. Chukwuma. Welcome to Politics Tonight.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
So I want to begin with the concerns you raised over you raised that concern in June. I think it was over democratic fairness in Anambra ahead of the 2025 election. And you had talked about the signage and advertisement agency not being fair in terms of its practices. I just want to confirm if that has been resolved or it has persisted.
Sorry, I didn't get that. You said?
Your party had raised concerns over signages and adverts by the advertisement agency in Anambra State. I was asking you if it has been resolved or if it is persistent.
No, the state government came up with a regulation that all candidates for the governorship election required to make a payment of 50 million naira to enable them, or rather to allow the political party and the candidates, access to mount their both fixed and mobile adverts. YPP was the first political party to make that payment, but unfortunately, we still have recorded cases where our billboards were pulled down by the agency of the state government. In particular, the billboard we mounted on the airport road have been pulled down more than 5 times, and we keep on replacing it. Now, a couple of days ago, the agency got some sharps, and they went and digged out, uprooted the billboard itself, and took it away. So that's the level of impunity we are dealing with in Anambra State. A law is made, and being law-abiding citizens, we applied, made the payment. Like I said, YPP was the first to make that payment, and they still will not allow our billboards to stand.
And Mr. Chukwuma, did you confirm that it was the agency allegedly pulling down these billboards and not maybe supporters of other political parties?
No, we are reliably informed. And then, of course, we have local intelligence around the locations where our billboards were mounted. We've got billboards across the state, and this is not just a one-off thing. We've been having incessant cases where billboards, especially those that were mounted on strategic locations, were being pulled down from time to time.
So to another statement you made, you faulted the inability of the current administration to stem the security situation in the country. You called it the killings and kidnappings and other violent crimes. And you said that's despite massive allocation, saying that the situation shows for you either a lack of strategy or a political will to address insecurity in the state. Just speak to us more about that, because the government has responded, but I just wanted to get first your context.
Okay, basically, we don't have any reason why Anambra should be facing the level of insecurity that we've recorded and still prevailing in our state, because in the first place, the federal government, under the leadership of President Ahmed Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has consistently, released all funds, that is due to Anambra State, and even in his magnanimity, has even assigned, given approval for more funds to be made available to the state government. But then the painful part is, despite the effort efforts of the federal government and Mr. President, we are still bedeviled by this high level of insecurity, essentially caused by the government, the state government inability to apply the funds meant for security. So we get billions every month as security votes, and no penny out of this amount is being applied, to any form of security activity in terms of preventing and protecting, preventing insecurity, violent crimes, kidnapping, or even investing resources in technology and equipment that could enable government to deal with insecurity. So one would then ask, where is this money? What's happening? So my argument is that as the governor of Anambra State, I don't need to waste time in dealing with insecurity, because I'm going to make sure that the money set aside for security is actually spent on security matters, and I'm going to set up a committee that would bring together all the major security stakeholders in the security ecosystem and ensure that government not only respond to issues of insecurity, but to a very large extent, engage in preventive approach, so that we don't wait until kidnappers have succeeded, taking away innocent in the Anambra before we start running up and down. We need to ensure that we put structures in place, we invest in equipment and technology to prevent the repeat of what we are experiencing today. So that's basically a key issue for the Anambra, and it's on top of my plate as I get ready to assume office as the governor of Anambra State.
And we'll get to that part of you getting ready to, like you say, assume that office. But the Soludo administration has responded to you, and I want to get your reaction to their response. They say that they have constantly maintained that while challenges remain, his government has made significant progress in restoring peace in many troubled areas, especially in areas where, that were held hostage before his administration. And they also say that the alleged 3 billion monthly security vote you mentioned is a figment of your imagination. How do you also react to that?
No, I think we are not, in sewer market, where people will just say things in response to facts that are empirically verifiable. If the government is saying that, are they saying they don't have security votes? So they need to come out and tell the Anambra how much is the security vote and what they've used those funds for. And talking about areas and communities where we used to have security challenges from the inception of this administration, I mean, the status quo remains. You talk about almost 50% of the communities in Ihala local government is still the way it used to be. You talk about camps littered all over the entire state. Kidnapping activities are going on a daily basis, and people are being killed. So we are not talking about rhetorics. We are talking about empirically verifiable facts. So if government is saying that they've done something, they should furnish us with evidence of what they have done. If, for instance, the government is saying that they have not received any security vote, they need to, show us. If they are quarreling with the figure, let them tell us what they have received and where those funds, what they have used the money they received from federal government, to do.
All right, so the senior special assistant to Governor Soludo on, I think it's new media, Jimofo Bara, also called you an attention seeker. He says you rely on the mention of Governor Soludo to gain relevance. And then he questioned your relevance in the scheme of things in the November 8th governorship election. Again, your reaction, and then do you have the clout to run and win this election?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in this election. I'm not contesting the election to join issues, with any and everybody. The truth of the matter is that I am not interested in, throwing tantrums. I'm not interested in unnecessary petty talks. I'm not a content creator. I am in this race because Anambra is totally broken. I am in this race because the government of the day seems, to be out of ideas in terms of how to deal with critical issues affecting governance in Anambra State. I am running, I'm a candidate in this election because I know I am very much familiar with the issues at stake and the solutions, the real solutions that are in tandem with the concrete life situation of our people. So we are not here to, banter or to create content for TikToks. We're here to talk about the issues affecting our dear state. Our homeland is no longer safe. Our education, we used to be #1 in education in Nigeria, and we have not moved beyond the 5th, 6th position. Today, we are on the bottom of the ladder as occupying the 33 or 34 position. So it's not this. The issues at stake in this election are enormous, and it's not for the feeble-minded characters. So I don't know the name you mentioned. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's from Anambra State, and I'm not interested. I'm interested in delivering the cargo for the teaming Ndi Anambra that have been held down in bondage. So I'm bringing my rescue mission message to ensure that we liberate Anambra, take Anambra and give it back, return Anambra to Ndi Anambra. So I mean, we don't have time, for petty talks.
But Mr. Chukwuma, you have to win an election before you can begin to strategize and then, put your policies into effect. And my question really is, does the white people have a strong base in Anambra State to give you a win in this election?
Yes, Anambra people are tired of rhetorics. And that's why our message of hope is resonating amongst, the masses. I am in this election for the masses. Our message is quite very clear and practical. We are tired of long grammar that has no foundation in reality. We are talking about practical things we can do. And yes, I agree with you that I need to win the election before I can begin to implement. But what happens? The problem we have today, which is what is affecting this administration, is that they were not prepared for governance. And when after inauguration, they thought that they are still campaigning, and everything is rhetorics and stories. And and you ask legitimate question, then you get name calling and all manner of uncivil talks. But the truth of the matter is that yes, Anambra people are tired of promises that can never be attained. Anambra people are tired of failed promises. Anambra people are tired of a governor and a government that have demonstrated clearly that they are not interested in listening to the people. Anambra people are tired, of virtually everything. The village, the market woman is tired. Even the civil servants, the welfare of the teachers is nothing to write home about. There's hunger, poverty, insecurity. They are coming with all manner of intimidation and fear. People are tired. So that's why the message of hope, the message that hope, joy is actually around the corner, is resonating amongst the Anambra. And that's what YPP, that's the message YPP has brought to the electorate. So it's not about, we're talking about practical things we can do. We're talking about, we're taking the governance issues sector by sector. And we are saying, yes, this is what we have today. No, but you can see people are not happy. People are complaining. This is what we'll do differently. You know, we're not going to use Akodo, you know, to raise revenue. You know, Akodo is meant to be in the kitchen. So you can, you know, so these are the issues. People are, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of, you know, and
Mr. Chukwuma, if I hear you clearly, just a minute, you're looking to run and win this election based on your knowledge of what the problems are and your ability to resolve them. So I'll just ask you, what do you think is the major challenge in Anambra State today and how you intend to resolve it?
The major challenge in Anambra today is that we have an emperor who is presiding over the affairs of Anambra State. He's not interested in listening to anybody. He feels he's the only human being on earth. And as such, you know, he cares less about the citizens. He does not believe in rule of law. He's very bullish. He's not, he doesn't believe that the poor masses have got a say. And that's why there is nothing about the poor and you know, the less privileged of Anambra State that is factored into this administration. So the biggest challenge is, as a result, he can't even take advice when he's going wrong, when the chief of state is drifting, you know, you know, and is a very, very big problem. That's why we're having insecurity. That's why our education sector is going down. That's why there's huge taxes, and then we don't get to see the money. Anambra State, with all this noise they are making on taxation and internally generated revenue, is still generating less than 50 billion a year. Enugu State, without all those stories and nightmare and stress on the citizens, is doing about 200 billion. So the biggest challenge for us in this state is that we have somebody who is not interested in doing anything, you know, and we are dealing with somebody whose training is such that will limit him, even if he wants to do something. The current governor of Anambra State is an IFI trained, is an International Finance Institute, you know, trained. And then that's why everything is being benchmarked. We're not talking about, we're talking about policies that has no foundation in our
Mr.
current
Chukwuma, I have a few minutes left.
About issues that are out of tune with what
Mr. Chukwuma, just let me quickly chime this question
this is
in.
Not about IMF policies. This is not no. We're
All
talking
right,
about
Mr. Chukwuma, just a minute, please. Give me a minute so I can ask you one more question.
To real problems.
All right, so I want to ask one more question before we wrap. How confident are you that your message will resonate with Anabrans and then, you know, Anabrans rather, and then you will win this election?
Power belongs to the people. And what we've done in the last, since we started campaign, is just to explain to Anambra exactly what we want to do and how we want to do them and where we intend to get the money to do what we have promised to do. And basically, this is not rocket science. If you are making progress, you will know. There are measurable, you know, there are deliverables that you can use to measure how well you are traveling. And I can tell you today that YPP is the party on the lips of every Anambra, because they have reason to believe that our mantra of joy is coming is not just one of those rhetorics that politicians come up with, but that we have been able to explain, you know, walking through our manifesto, how we would address the issues and the challenges we are being faced today. As we speak today, the health workers are on strike. Health workers are on strike. You know, the entire system is broken and nobody is happy. And the government and the governor seems to be, playing aloof. And that's the biggest problem.
All right.
So Anambra people are tired and they are willing and happy, to have a change of government and, usher in a YPP-led
well, Mr. Chukwuma,
government.
We have to leave it there. But we'll see how, the election is just around the corner, whether Anambrans are actually looking for a change, because we didn't see any more change during the by-election in August. We'll see how that plays out in November. Thank you so much for your time.
That's notorious. Notorious is different from governorship.
All right.
We're talking about governorship election. And
all right,
remember,
Mr. Chukwuma,
the money that was stopped was used in vote buying in that election. That's what
Mr.
the governor
Chukwuma,
wants to do. He wants to buy
those allegations that we cannot confirm. And so I will just not let you make those allegations. All right, thank you. I won't let you, go further with those allegations. Thank you so much, Mr. Chukwuma, the governorship candidate of the YPP, Paul Chukwuma. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we let you go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. And meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News. On YouTube or live at TVC News Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. But don't forget to use the hashtag Politics Tonight. I am Precious Amayo.